You're listening to Not So Live from Asteroid G. I'm Mike Finkelstein. With me, as always, is...
Commissioner Josh Schaefer.
Ooh, Commissioner. Got a promotion after having no title for the last couple episodes. Oh, wait, no. Human slave at one point. Wow, you really worked your way up the chain from there. Apes must really trust you now.
It's more so about who you know.
Did you sleep your way to the top?
I'm the top.
But did you sleep your way there?
Yes.
Okay. There's an image no one wanted. And...
No. Queen Bee.
I wish we could do like some sort of biff or pow, because we are going to be talking about the Batman. I feel like I have to say it that way every time we do this now.
Thanks, Christian Bale.
Pow.
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
I'm not Batman.
I imagine Batman conventions where you have a bunch of guys in costume and they're all sitting there going, I'm Batman. Oh, I'm Batman.
Most Batman cosplayers I admit are dicks.
Well, I'm sure it takes a certain type of person to actually want to dress up as Batman instead of one of the more colorful characters. Like
Batman.
if I was gonna do like DC comics like crossplay, I'd do like a Blue Lantern or something. But then I'd do like the shittiest, laziest Blue Lantern. Like wear a T-shirt and carry the blue ring, and then wear some jeans. Be like, I'm a Blue Lantern. This is what I'd wear as a Blue Lantern. Shut up.
That is so believable for you.
See? Yeah.
That is a believable character right there.
If I was to get a Blue Lantern ring, I would basically wear what I currently wear normally, just with a Blue Lantern t-shirt, which I actually own one of those. So it would be the exact same thing I normally wear.
You know, I did cosplay as Batgirl in a steampunk outfit. And I was approached by some really slinky looking girls in both a Catwoman outfit and a Batgirl outfit. And they walked up and they said, "Who do we have here?" And I was like going... Well, I'm the correct Batgirl. I don't know who you are.
So, Batman on film.
Is that like the song Girls on Film?
Yes, but with Batman.
With Batman.
Batman.
On film.
There's a lot of topics that we could talk about with Batman on film. But I think it's better to focus on the movies that people actually care about, because no one cares about the 1943 and 45 serials that are horribly racist and really just awful. And as fun as the Adam West and Burt Ward Batman series was, along with the movie that they did that was in between seasons 1 and 2, most people don't really think about it much anymore, except for, oh yeah, that's a thing. I mean, you don't hear anyone going, I really like to watch these all the time. They're just bad. So
yeah, I don't know any nerd who says that ever.
No. I mean, they even did like DC animated movies that were kind of like continuations of it, and like everyone was like, "Oh, this is so awesome," and then no one talks about them anymore because they're just kind of
a novelty.
there. Yeah, they were like the Batman '66 comics they did that kind of continued it as well. It's a novelty, but no one's really like hankering for it. No one's sitting there going, "I'm going to watch these all the time because they're awesome." I know people who like to watch the Tim Burton Batman movies all the time, and they're wrong, but
I like
they're at least more popular.
Yeah.
So yeah, if we're really talking about Batman on film, I think the discussion starts with Tim Burton, kind of touches upon the animated series, which I wasn't necessarily a fan of,
That was
but
a mistake.
For me, okay, which is fair. We can talk about it, and then really, it's the Nolan movies that set Batman on film. So let's start with the Tim Burton Joel Schumacher series, of which I feel like there's about a movie and a half there that's pretty good.
Okay.
I mean,
So
Michael Keaton's pretty cool.
Michael Keaton's decent, although I don't think his Batman is really Batman. I feel like it's Bruce Wayne with a rubber mask.
Yeah, and I think that's like an important distinction to talking about Batman, because you have people who are great Batmans and real shitty Bruce Waynes.
Yes.
Or great Bruce Waynes.
Yes.
And real shitty Batmans.
Yes. It's very hard to find someone that can do both, but it's got to be a both where the Bruce Wayne is just a mask. And I think that's kind of like what Michael Keaton wasn't able to do was actually play the Batman as the Batman, and what Val Kilmer wasn't able to do was take the mask off.
Yeah,
because it felt like his Batman was always Batman. Like there was no Bruce Wayne in there, and George Clooney was just George Clooney.
He
Who
apologized.
is Batman in disguise all the time.
That's why he did such a bad job.
He did. He apologized because for a long while there, he said he got to say, "I killed Batman," because they weren't making anything since then.
I don't think that was his fault, though.
It wasn't. It was the fault of Joel Schumacher. Everything about those two movies is the fault of Joel Schumacher.
When you give Arnold Schwarzenegger like 20% more or something, I'm just making numbers up.
Well,
but
You don't want to blame Joel Schumacher, even though Joel Schumacher as well in the commentary on the disc for Batman and Robin halfway and just had to apologize for the movie. Like, he's like, okay, look, I'm sorry about this movie. I'm so sorry.
Biff.
Pow.
But it was clearly the studio wanted to do shit that no one else wanted to do.
It's he did a job, and he did a job that the studio wanted him to do, but he did it with relish, you can tell, and only after the fact did he feel bad about the fact that he made those two shitty movies, especially Batman and Robin. But
Batman Forever was
okay, but go back to the Tim Burton.
My point I was going to make was you don't want to blame him for it, but then I saw Phantom of the Opera, which is also a Joel Schumacher movie, and you're sitting there going, this guy has a very specific aesthetic. And so I blame the studio as much as I blame Schumacher, because it's like, you can't hate Charlie Sheen for being Charlie Sheen. You can't, and all the stupid shit that Charlie Sheen gets up to. You can't hate Joel Schumacher for being Joel Schumacher. Yeah. You knew the guy you were hiring and the kind of movies he really liked to make when he's making them, when he's not just producing, because he produced The Lost Boys, and that one's actually kind of watchable. But, when he's making a movie, he's got a very specific aesthetic, and that's the aesthetic he applied to those two Batman movies, just like he did Phantom of the Opera, and all three of them are garbage.
Yeah, I think Warner Brothers thought they were going to get a Tim Burton light.
Well, Warner Brothers, if you know the history of these movies, so we'll start with the first one, The Batman, which was decent for what it was, but it doesn't really feel like a Batman movie.
It was a Jack Nicholson movie.
It's definitely a Jack Nicholson movie.
Michael Keaton starring in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest 2.
Yeah.
Because Jack Nicholson's Joker isn't a real Joker. It's basically Jack Nicholson playing a mobster. And Michael Keaton's playing Michael Keaton, who just so happens to wear a rubber mask. And then for some reason or another, Kim Basinger is in there.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the movie right there. And then Joker dies at the end, which is the unforgivable sin of that movie that's now 30 years old. And if you haven't watched it, too late.
Well, and spoiler. I think, that also set a precedent for every other comic book movie.
Killing the villain.
The villain always dies with the exception of Spider-Man Homecoming, where the Vulture lives at the end.
Now, by the way, Michael Keaton is a really good Vulture.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, they don't always die, but they die a lot. And I think you are right. There is studio audiences expect that there's going to be a villain death.
Yeah.
And when they don't get the villain death,
it's like they've got cheated.
Yeah.
But I can't really think of very many superhero movies where the villain doesn't die.
Yeah, and the ones where they don't, you can tell that sometimes the audience feels like they're cheated, but other times I'm like, I understand why you didn't, because now you get to bring them back. Like, Heath Ledger's Joker doesn't die, even though Heath Ledger did, so they basically killed the character off anyway. I mean, it was a thing of, you could see that they were clearly setting up another movie with Joker versus Batman and those.
The Scarecrow didn't die either.
He didn't, no, and he got to keep showing up and to less and less effect over time. But at least they, Nolan and his people knew not to kill the villain. You don't kill the villain, because then you don't get to use the villain again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think they made that mistake in this, not a Batman movie, but in Black Panther.
Yeah.
Because they killed Killmonger and they killed...
Yeah, and now they're trying to figure out how they can bring Killmonger back. Yeah, because they're like, wait, this was a mistake.
He was such a good villain.
He was so good. They should have just put him in prison and they could have had him break out and do some other shit or become an anti-hero or something.
Yeah.
Because honestly, he has the better story arc in Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Kind of was like, I mean, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong. Not in any way, shape, or form. He's not wrong.
Going about it the wrong way, but...
Yeah, but bad actions are not the same as bad intentions.
Right.
Yeah. So the Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and the second one...
Now, out of all the Tim Burton movies, I think that the second one is probably the better.
Strongest, yeah, for sure.
It's stronger with Catwoman.
Yes, because she's amazing.
It's not stronger with Penguin.
And I actually think she's one of the better Catwomen that you see in the movies.
And she's, I mean, aside from her weird supernatural origin, she's basically Catwoman and she's fantastic.
Like, the cast licked her back to life.
Yeah, that was really strange. But and I love the fact that every time she gets near death, she knocks another point off of her life.
Don't kink shame cat saliva, okay?
I just she falls into that vat of garbage when she should have died, and she's like, 7 because 9 lives. She's great in that movie, and if they'd done her spin-off instead of Halle Boring's Catwoman,
yes, that would have been amazing.
It would have been fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's I like Danny DeVito for what he got to do, but it's a very Tim Burton character, and it is not the Penguin.
No.
But I'm also not a Danny DeVito fan, hence the reason he will never be Wolverine in my head, ever.
Best Wolverine, Danny DeVito. Hashtag.
Agreed. Watch it, bub. Yeah, he says that.
I think that'd be great.
Just watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia and think that he's actually Wolverine. It's already there.
I don't think he'd do action sequences at all as Wolverine. Like, they'd go for the fastball special and be like, nah. You just sit there. But him cracking a beer and cracking wise and being like, bub, I would watch the hell out of that Wolverine, okay? It would be awful and amazing.
This is an episode of What If, by the way.
I just say, him as Wolverine, still better than X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Yes.
Okay?
Reach out to Asteroid G. He would be a great director. Writer.
But I feel like he detracts from the plot of the movie that Batman Returns should have had, which was Batman and Catwoman. And then Catwoman's quest for revenge. That was an interesting storyline that Penguin just kind of gets in the middle of and muddles because they wanted to sell Penguin toys. Of course, the simple fact of the matter is that the second Batman movie is so dark, I don't think they sold many toys based on it.
Yeah.
I had a crap ton when I was a kid.
You're weird, Josh.
Now, I didn't like any of the characters except for Poison Ivy.
Oh,
in the third
one. That was the fourth.
Yeah,
third one was Riddler and Two-Face.
You mean Joker?
I was kidding. It was
Jim Carrey and
Riddler. Jim Carrey trying to play the Riddler as the Joker, basically.
Right.
Yeah, but it was Jim Carrey or Riddler and Two-Face in a Jim Carrey joint of Batman Forever.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I liked Val Kilmer in that, but
yeah, I thought he did an all right job.
Yeah, and I would have liked it if he'd come back for the fourth one. Even though Heath said the movies were stupid and he hated working with the director and left, which I can't blame him for because he's not wrong on any count of that. But I think even worse than Two-Face's over-the-top, hammy, scenery-chewing performance from Tommy Lee Jones, even worse I love
Tommy Lee Jones.
But not in that movie. No. And even worse than Jim Carrey being Jim Carrey as Jim Carrey in the Jim Carrey Show featuring the Riddler. Chris O'Donnell as way too old Robin.
Like geriatric Robin.
Oh my God. He was like, he's trying to play a 16-year-old biker guy and he's obviously like 35. Okay. It was like, you don't need to, you're older than Batman. Why are you his ward? I don't understand.
Well, there's also a simple aesthetic that they didn't quite get either.
Yeah.
Grayson is dark haired.
Yeah.
Why do they always cast somebody who's blonde to play him?
They got a dark-haired guy for the Dick Grayson in Titans.
Okay.
Yeah. I think he's actually a pretty decent Dick Grayson on that show. Yeah. So, but yeah, no, Chris O'Donnell he's like the poor man's Matthew McConaughey. He's just not good at anything. But
it did come around in the same time where Alicia Silverstone is being really popular. And
then they made her a blonde Batgirl.
Oh, right. Don't ever do that, no. Marvel and DC. And
as much as I like her as Cher and Clueless, I haven't seen her in anything else I really liked. So really, let's just not cast Alicia Silverstone in anything ever again.
I think she's a mom of two now.
She is.
Just let her be a mom.
A weird vegan mom of two that like baby birds her kids or something. She has some really weird ideas about raising her children from what I've seen. Yeah. She's strange. Pow. Bazoink. But yeah, no, I mean, the fourth one, like, even more than the third one, which is bad, but the fourth one is an absolute motherfucking train wreck. It is terrible.
Yes, it is awful.
From the opening with the 15-minute sequence of them fighting Mr. Freeze, and then, like, suddenly there's, like, skating, like, villains, and they have, like, skates built into their boots.
But it's fun to play in the Lego movie thingy game.
Yeah, and then there's like he's
Lego
making
Batman.
Constant Iceman puns, and then they do snowboarding out of a plane and like drive their vehicles down this statue that is so big it shouldn't fucking exist. Like the entire opening of that movie is a clusterfuck, and then it just gets stupid with like Poison Ivy and her plot. Like nothing about that movie worked. Nothing.
No, but Uma Thurman is a pretty good Poison Ivy.
The only good thing about that movie is that George Clooney got a paycheck. Like that's it. Okay, that is it.
It killed Chris O'Donnell's career.
It did. Thank gods. It almost killed George Clooney's as well, but he recovered because he's fucking George Clooney.
Well, because he can pretty much do anything.
Yeah,
and he has a lot of powerful friends.
And he went on. Like the next big movie he did was Ocean's 11. Everyone was like, "Oh wait, this guy can act." Yeah. That's right.
He actually can act. He's really actually pretty good.
He's really good. I really loved him in Return of the Killer Tomatoes.
Wasn't Oh Brother, Where Art Thou kind of in that same time period post?
I think that was 5 years later.
Yeah.
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 Because I feel like that's when his career just...
Yeah,
started.
Ocean's 11 was the re-kickstart for it after he did a couple stupid things post-ER. And then the second time he was in ER, because he was also in the previous ER. Mm-hmm. That awful 1970s sitcom. Yeah.
He was in the comedy and then in the drama.
And the drama, both of them called ER.
ER.
That man has quite the oeuvre.
He really does.
But yeah, no, he rekindled his career with Ocean's 11, and he's basically been an A-lister ever since.
Right, and I don't think you could actually he could do anything at this point. It's kind of like Johnny Depp, where Johnny Depp does Tim Burton films and some Disney.
Yeah.
And even though some of those films are completely awful, you just can't topple that guy. He's like a weeble wobble.
Yeah. He wobbles, but he doesn't fall down.
He doesn't fall down.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's currently facing a whole bunch of backlash from his bad marriage. So whatever.
George Clooney?
No.
I think
Johnny Depp.
That's been going away because they proved that it was his wife that was beating the shit out of him.
Well, yeah, but
You could just look at her. You know she's angry.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
You don't have to hate on her. I'm the woman on the planet. I can hate on her just fine. I've never liked her either. So.
The asteroid. The woman on the asteroid.
One on the asteroid.
Yeah. It's Asteroid G, so. But okay, so after that, we did have, in and around there, we had the Batman animated series, which
was amazing.
Obviously was trying to base itself on the Tim Burton aesthetic for the first, 3 seasons.
No,
and then...
I don't know about that.
Well, it was.
It was very gothic.
It was, but that was the Tim Burton aesthetic for the 2 Batman movies, was very soundstagey gothic.
Is that the one where Mark Hamill comes in as Joker?
As the Joker, yeah.
He's great.
He's a fantastic Joker. He would be the definitive Joker were it not for Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
Which even he has said. He's like, there's a part of Heath Ledger's performance that he never would have thought of, and it's a very interesting and deep performance. And even Mark Hamill was like, I couldn't do something like that. There was a convention appearance he did where someone wanted him to do some of Heath Ledger's lines as his Joker, and he talked for 2 minutes, and he's like, I just couldn't do it.
A lot of people say that, though, too, and they're asked to do Heath Ledger lines.
Yeah, they're like, no.
No,
it's his performance. No one wants to touch that performance at this point.
I mean, Ryan, the kid I know, he kind of elaborates on it, but...
Well, I think it's part of the reason why, and we will get to this, Jared Leto had to play Joker when they wanted to do a Joker, because no one else...
You really hate pronouncing names correctly, don't you?
Is it Leto? Jared Leto.
For a second, I was like,
it's Leto.
It's Leto Deck.
Sorry, I've only ever seen it written.
It's Jared Leto.
Leto. I like Leto. Jared Leto.
When they cast Jared Leto as the Joker, they pretty much had to have him do it because I don't think they could get anyone else that would be willing to play the part.
After Ledger.
Most people looked at it and goes, that's Heath Ledger's role. I'm not touching that right now.
They didn't even need to have the Joker in that movie.
Yeah, no,
honestly.
They didn't.
Yeah, they didn't need him at all.
No.
They got
a good Harley Quinn for it, which we'll touch upon soon. But they didn't need Jared. But going back, I mean, most people, I think, as Subway proved, you just don't need Jared. But yeah, going back, the Batman animated series obviously was playing on that same gothic aesthetic that Tim Burton did, and people found popular even if the second Burton film wasn't as popular as the first.
Now, they still do animated movies for Batman, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah. They have a bunch. They just came out with Batman Hush recently, which
I haven't seen that one yet.
You tried to watch it with us. It was okay.
It was okay.
It was okay.
Did I fall asleep at that one?
I think so. Yeah, no, but... the animated series is iconic. I'm not necessarily a fan of all the episodes, but
I mean, with anything that has 6
it was
seasons,
3 seasons of the traditional. Then there were
Superman, Batman.
There was the New Adventures of Batman that brought in Batgirl and did a bunch of recasting of stuff and changed the aesthetic some. It made it actually, honestly, more Joel Schumacher-y. And most fans of the animated series hate that.
It was okay.
I liked the Superman.
Then, though.
I was never a big fan of the Batman cartoon, but I really liked the Superman cartoon.
Yeah, Superman was dope. And then that kind of went to Justice League.
I agree.
And that whole continuity of stuff, start to finish, as a whole, is fantastic.
Yeah.
Which is why DC continues to revisit it every once in a while. They just did, Justice League, or Superman, or Justice League versus the Fatal Five, or something that's set in that same continuity, even though that continuity's basically been over for 10 years.
Yeah, I mean...
So...
Everyone's still alive.
Yeah. But then, of course, you get to the Nolan movies, and that's the next big point in the Batman continuity. And it's Batman Begins and The Dark Knight and then that other movie that is kind of okay. So, because Batman Begins is amazing. I like as far as an origin story for Batman, I think that movie nailed it.
It was good. I have my biggest gripe with it though was the weapon that Ra's al Ghul wanted
to use. The microwave emitter. It's
which
so
makes
stupid.
No sense because it's like, oh, it gets rid of all the water. What about all the people, which are 70% water? Does that go away too?
Yeah, and the fact that it doesn't, it's supposedly shooting downwards, but its openings are obviously on the sides. I'm confused over how any of this works, and I don't think you thought this through very well. You created technobabble without explanation. Yeah.
A lot of movies do that, though, because they don't understand technobabble.
Yeah, no. But if you can forgive that, and I don't even hate the fact that they killed Ra's al Ghul, because in that series of movies, Ra's al Ghul is a title. So you can kill the villain and still keep the villain at the same time.
There's the Lazarus Pits too in the comics.
But they didn't introduce. They wanted the Batman Begins movies to be more grounded. So there's none of those supernatural stuff. But I don't care.
I don't think Liam Neeson wanted to come back.
Well, he did though. He came back in the third one as a vision of Batman in the prison sequences. Yeah, but
maybe he did want to come back then.
He'll do anything for a paycheck. He did 3 Taken movies. Yeah,
Michael Caine will do anything for a paycheck, and he's amazing.
Yes. And he was fantastic in all 3 of those movies.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it's like I understand what they were going for. They wanted Ra's al Ghul to Ra's al Ghul, I think is how you actually pronounce it in the comics or something. Ra's al Ghul.
I always pronounce it like Ra's al Ghul.
No,
like if you watch the Arrowverse, I think it's Raish, and it's a stupid name.
Yeah, they're not gonna come up to you and go, "I'm sorry, you're pronouncing that wrong." Okay, I might.
so Pez al Ghul.
Kapow!
Yeah, I don't hate the fact that they killed him because they proved, like in the later movies, that it's just the title of Raj al Ghul or Raish or whatever that actually matters. So, plus technically Liam Neeson's character didn't ever call himself Raish al Ghul. He had a different name, Dalton or something that he used.
He had the management title.
Yeah,
not the actual name.
And Raish was just a puppet. Yeah. So
it's the school. It's like you know, X-Men school for gifted. It's the same. It's the Ra's al Ghul school for billionaires. Yeah. That's where they go to learn all their skills.
But I think, like, as far as on-screen Batman are concerned, as much as he does a dumb, stupid, gravelly voice, what's his name? Christian Bale nailed the performance on it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, he has a Batman that can put on a Bruce Wayne mask. Like, just fake being Bruce Wayne.
He pretty much was Patrick Bateman.
Yeah.
When he was
exactly.
Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. His Bruce Wayne is basically Patrick Bateman without all the stabby killing. And then he drops the mask and just becomes this dark force, which I think is just Christian Bale when he's, himself. And he was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And Liam Neeson is Ra's al Ghul or whatever you want to call him. He was great too. And Gary Oldman was fine. And then
Gary Oldman is always just fine.
Is always just fine. He was just fine in Dracula 1992. He's just fine.
He's just fine.
He's just fine.
He's not terrible. We'll take it.
His best performance, I think, honestly, was his Sirius Black.
Oh, yeah.
I like
The Professional.
Meh.
Oh.
Double meh.
Meh.
Oh.
And then Michael Caine, who is phenomenal as Alfred.
Yes,
I would
phenomenal.
I mean, if they do anything else with Batman, they just need to bring Alfred back again. Michael Caine.
Just need to bring Alfred. Now that's a different show altogether.
Nope, Elf as Alfred. That's our next casting call right there. Do Alfred and Wolverine. It's Danny DeVito and Elf.
So many cats will die in that episode.
Catwoman is not safe.
Oh my god. Whew. But then the second one, I think the ending on the second movie, The Dark Knight's a little weak. Like, I really don't feel like Two-Face needed to be in that movie.
No.
And I really don't feel like the weird bat sonar vision adds anything to the movie.
Okay.
But anytime you have Heath Ledger on screen, like,
awesome.
It's really not even a Batman movie. It's a Heath Ledger movie or a Joker movie that Batman just so happens to get to co-star in. Because it's
so good.
Heath Ledger was amazing in that role.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really good.
And it's like people online when he was first cast were bitching about it. They were so mad about it. But I'm like, did you ever see 10 Things I Hate About You? Which is a fun movie. And you would be like, how would you think that would be a Joker? I'm like, his smile alone is Joker-ish. He had this weird, evil smile that he would just do naturally. And you're like, I could see him as the Joker. It was really, and then of course he didn't even get to do that smile because they did these weird scars and everything, and he had this really like strange tongue thing he was doing and all these twitches because he got way lost in that part.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, like
really good.
People were saying that he only got the Academy Award because he died. I'm like,
no, he got it because he earned it.
Yeah. Our sister who says that it wasn't a great performance. Anyone can play a psycho. No, thank you very much.
Now, I don't like all of Heath Ledger's films. I mean, especially the one that he did with Mel Gibson. What was it? The Patriot?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's an awful movie. But then I hate Mel Gibson.
But he was, I didn't like that movie, but for who he was playing, he was believable.
Good job,
and then he was in one of my favorite films, which is just stupid, girly, like it a lot, is the...
Brokeback Mountain?
No. Not Brokeback Mountain. Kapow! The Night movie.
Oh, Knight's Tale?
Knight's Tale. Yeah. Knight's Tale.
He's fun in that movie.
It's really fun in that.
It is such a bad movie, but he's having so much fun in it.
It is, and everybody in that film has a good time.
Yeah.
And it has a really good cast, actually,
It's the same with 10 Things I Hate About You. That movie is not the best, but everyone in it is having a great time, and he's good in the role he's given as this Australian kid who just so happens to show up because Heath Ledger didn't want to get rid of his accent.
Right, exactly. So why not?
But then the third one that really was sorely lacking a Joker in the middle of it, and the entire time you're watching it going, okay, we can do stuff with League of Shadows again, but this is boring. You're also sitting there going, what the fuck's the Joker? Like I know Heath Ledger is dead and they didn't want to recast it, and I fully respect that decision because no one else should play that particular version of the performance.
I thought they'd have at least a copycat or something.
I thought they'd at least make a reference to it, like Joker's over here running around being Joker, ha ha ha. But there's like
you could have still had his crew without having the Joker there.
But it's like he just vanishes without even an explanation. You're sitting there going, "You're telling me that all of this chaos happens? This guy who self-proclaims himself
is on vacation,
as an agent of chaos, and he doesn't get to play in the city? It boggles my mind." And then, of course, the movie's really boring anyway. So
they needed to make something more of it, and they kind of I think they just were afraid.
Yeah,
they became afraid, and they had a movie that they had to make, but they were afraid to do anything with it.
Yeah, and so all you get is Mushmouth Bane.
Yeah,
and the guy Tom Holland.
Tom
Holland as Bane. This little short guy. It's like, but Danny DeVito is the Wolverine. I'm not saying Tom Holland couldn't do it, and God, please give us that
No Danny
movie.
DeVito, but I will go for Peter Dinklage as the Wolverine.
I would go for Peter Dinklage as Bane.
Yeah.
That he can do no wrong. He would be amazing in anything, okay?
He has a good Bane voice.
He does. He's good in anything. Let's just be honest about that. And then the other guy,
Tom Cruise.
Well, yes, Tom Cruise as Riddler.
I was thinking Catwoman, but okay.
Tom Cruise as Catwoman. Peter Dinklage.
He's never done another part as a different sex, so
no, he hasn't. We
really don't know what he could do.
I think he's got the range.
I think he could.
At least his Catwoman would believably throw herself off of buildings.
That is true.
Yes.
9 lives.
So then after that, we have Ben Affleck as Batman.
Ow.
What?
He didn't do that.
Okay, don't get me wrong. Ben Affleck as the Batman they gave him was really good.
Yeah.
He could tell he cared about the part and wanted to play it well.
He actually played a really good Bruce Wayne.
He did play a good Bruce Wayne. He played a pretty decent Batman all around.
He's better as an accountant.
Stupid.
Yeah, I do like calling him Ben Affleck because I think it's funny. But... No, honestly,
never coming on the show anyway, so it's fine.
His Batman was not bad, and I fully understand why he wants to leave the part. And they're already looking at recasting it and doing other stuff. Mm-hmm. They have the sparkly vampire guy who I don't hate in this particular.
I think he'll do a good job.
I think he will. It's the same thing. You bitch about the fact that he's going to play the role, and then you're sitting there going, "Yeah, but Heath Ledger as Joker actually worked. This could." Robert Pattinson as the Batman.
And it's sad that those two will never be in a movie together because that would be amazing. They play really well off each other.
Yeah.
Weren't they in some elephant movie together?
Operation Dumbo Drop?
No.
Operation Dumbo Drop 2?
No.
Dumbo.
Sorry, it wasn't an elephant movie. It was a circus movie. Water for Elephants. Weren't they in that together?
I don't know.
Or was it I'm Thinking Imaginarium or something like that with Heath
Ledger? I have no idea. I've never seen either of those films.
Heath Ledger's last movie, I thought, had the same...
The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus?
Yes.
And it had who with it? Tom Cruise?
No.
Robert Pattinson?
Robert Pattinson.
I almost said Chris
I thought Robert Pattinson was in that.
I don't know. I didn't make it past the opening act of that movie because it was bad.
Okay, then.
So, sorry.
Maybe they just came out at the same time.
But yes, no, I liked Ben Affleck for what he was given. I don't feel like he was given good stuff because Batman v Superman was trash.
Yeah.
And Justice League is a fine movie.
It's okay.
As it's coupled together from two different directors.
All I'm saying is if you're going to kill somebody, make their mom's name the same as your mom's name.
Yeah, then they won't be able to, like, get in your way. Wait, your mom was named Honora too? Yes! It's going to be very...
She really was.
Yeah, I know. Right? It's going to be very hard for us to, like, have a beef with anyone and survive afterwards because no one's named after our mother.
Yeah, no one.
No. But, no, Justice League, I think, is a fine movie. If you didn't have Ezra Miller as the Flash, I think it'd be a garbage flick.
He is the best part of that of that entire series thus far.
And there are people that say they hate his performance in that movie. I'm like, what movie are you watching? He is phenomenal in that movie. The rest of the movie around him is awful. But
Wonder Woman's very good.
Yeah,
but she's fine in everything she's done. They just don't give Wonder Woman that much to do.
Yeah, unfortunately, they should give her more to do because she's amazing.
They let Ezra Miller steal all the scenes in that movie, and he's fantastic.
Is it Ezra or Urza?
It might be Urza, but I'm dyslexic, so I don't know.
Okay, that's fine.
Steve.
Yeah,
no, it's not Steve Miller.
Billy Bob Miller is phenomenal in all of that. Okay, so I think you're probably right. It probably is Urza, but I just can't read it like that.
That's fine.
It's like you'll appreciate this. Kanye. In my head, I read his name as Kane.
A lot of people do. He has a song about that, actually.
It looks like Kane. I know what you're trying to tell me to read, but I can't do it, dude. I'm so sorry. So he's not going to be back for The Batman that they're doing now with Matt Reeves, I think is directing it, the guy who did a couple of the Planet of the Apes movies.
And that's the one with Pattinson.
Yes,
that's one that Pattinson's with because they're taking it back and doing basically Batman Year One or something with it, which is fine.
They're rebooting?
Yeah,
again?
because they have to because the whole DC universe is garbage.
Well, let's be honest. The Justice League movies that they've done, other than Wonder Woman and Flash, are pretty much crap.
Yeah, they are. Mm-hmm. They are.
Bad villains.
Aquaman was decent, but the
Aquaman was
villain
really good.
Orm was only okay. Wonder Woman was good, but
till the end.
Terrible villain.
Ares was only okay. Yeah, I mean, Man of Steel was fine, but the Kryptonians were only okay. Yeah,
and it didn't feel like a Superman movie either. It was too dark.
Yeah, I didn't hate it for that reason.
Lois Lane is not a redhead. Yeah, DC.
But I respected the fact that Lois Lane sits for all of 5 minutes and goes, you know what, this motherfucker's Superman. Like, he couldn't deceive her at all.
It's because they made her a redhead. She became suddenly a lot smarter.
She was ridiculously smart in that movie. Like,
right?
You're like, oh yeah, she's an investigative journalist. This is what she fucking does. Like, instead of like, I wear glasses, you can never see me. And Lois Lane is like, oh, look at you, Clark. Oh, look at Superman over there. Like, no, 5 seconds, she's sitting there going, this guy's a fucking space alien who has superpowers, and why cannot anyone see it? Like, this is so fucking stupid.
I'm not against Amy Adams' performance.
No.
They should have just made her a brunette. Again, continuity.
Well,
she is a brunette in everything you see her in.
And I respect the fact that she had enough clout to be like, no, you're not dyeing my hair.
That's true.
No, I am going to be a redhead in this movie, and that's all you can say about it. So Justice League. Suicide Squad, which has Batman in it for a few sequences, and that is such a horribly cobbled together movie, though.
2 sequences, I think.
Yeah, but it's Batman and Harley Quinn and Joker and a few things, and then like Deadshot and some stuff, and other people having backstories, and there's also a plot somewhere in here that makes no sense and is stupid.
Right.
Yeah.
It was like an Expendables.
Diablo, let's just say, Diablo's a great character who's misused.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Deadshot is a great character. He was misused.
Yes.
Harley Quinn is amazing, and she deserves the Birds of Prey movie that's coming out.
Because she was misused.
She was misused. Jared Leto
is terrible.
Go fly kite.
He is perhaps, on the whole scope of everything that they have done, including Batman 66 with the Joker that refused to shave his mustache, so they just painted over it, all the way through to Suicide Squad, Jared Leto is hands down the worst Joker ever.
I think you could say he's the worst Batman anything.
Yeah, he's the worst of,
I'd watch Catwoman again before I watch him be the Joker.
There are tons of villains that you could choose from the DC universe. Why do they always stick to the same ones?
Well, they wanted to have Harley Quinn in there, which is fine, because she's part of the Suicide Squad.
Right.
So they felt they had to put Joker in to give her backstory, but that really wasn't necessary. They could have just, pretended he wasn't around and just let her do her own thing.
Right.
So, which I think is what they're doing for Birds of Prey and the fantabulous emancipation of Harley Quinn, which is, wow, that's a mouthful. You don't need... And, they're like, we don't need him for this. And they keep talking about the fact that they were wanting to do a Harley Quinn and Joker movie, but I think that's been scrapped because no one likes the Jared Leto.
No, but they can always bring in Joaquin
Phoenix.
I haven't seen that yet, but it looks...
I haven't.
I have.
Is it good?
I thought it was very well done.
I don't know. I keep trying to motivate myself to pursue it.
It's not your standard movie.
I guess my issue is Joker. The reason why Joker works in comics, the reason why the Joker worked in the second of the Dark Knight movies, the Batman 2. The reason why the Joker
Electric
works...
Boogaloo. Kapow!
Electric Bataloo. Do the Batusi. The reason why he works at all in anything is because he is supposed to be the diametric opposite of Batman in all respects. Batman is for justice, he will not kill. Joker is for chaos and rampage and carnage, doesn't really have any moral code, doesn't care about anything, and will kill everyone just because he thinks it's funny. Batman is super serious, Joker is cracking jokes. But the other thing is that Batman has a very specifically defined background that informs everything that he does. Joker does not need a background. In fact, the Jokers that work best are the ones that have no background. Do not define him because he's better off if he's just this weird agent of chaos that springs up like a mushroom out of nowhere and then runs around for a little while being like Joker. And I guess the part I'm having problems with and why I'm having an issue motivating myself to go see the Joker is that they give him a definitive backstory.
I mean, he has one in the comics and it
no, he
sense.
doesn't.
Yeah, he does.
He has 4 or 5 definitive backstories, all of which conflict with each other.
They actually make him a fairly sympathetic character. And so I liked it, how they made him. Go see it, you'll like it. Or you won't like it, and then you can just bitch about it and go, what are you thinking?
Yeah, in a podcast.
So,
anyway. So if you were to be a Batman villain, current existing or one that you made up on your own, who would you be?
Why are you starting with me?
Because it's always funny to get your reactions first when I spring these on you.
Oh, man. So Batman villain?
Yeah.
You
are in Gotham, and the Batman is running around.
So in
Who
film or in comics?
Doesn't matter. You're a Batman villain. Huh? Who?
Kite Man.
You want to be Kite Man?
Yes.
You don't want to be Condiment King?
No. Kite Man is a real superhero.
King.
So is Condiment King.
Oh, Condiment. I heard Condom.
Condiment King is also a real villain.
That sounds real sticky. I don't know. Are they lubed condoms?
Condiment King sounds real sticky too.
Only when you pull the gig off.
And you know I'm allergic to ketchup. So that is just asking for a lot of real weird
awkward fights. This is tomato-free ketchup. So why Kite Man?
It's just funny to say Kite Man.
Okay. What about Snake Man or Bubble Man?
Man.
Wait, those are Mega Man villains.
Snake Man. I'm gonna be Bomb Man.
That's the worst. You're only one step away from being Guts Man at that point.
Honestly though, I always liked Mr. Freeze, so I'd probably choose him.
Okay.
That's my honest answer.
Okay.
I do prefer a lot of the female villains to the male villains.
But why?
But I would really like to do a female Mad Hatter. I think that would be amazing.
That'd be cool, yeah.
I like Mad Hatter.
He doesn't get a lot of respect.
He doesn't at all, but he mind controls. That's pretty impressive.
That is. I like that. Damian Wayne. He just seems like he should be a villain. I'd be Damian Wayne.
I mean, he was a villain for a while.
Jason Todd is the villainous Robin at this point, but Jason Todd's a douche. But no, Damian Wayne is a douche that you can actually appreciate. I'd be Damian Wayne, but I'd be the evil Damian Wayne. That's what I'd do.
I give it to you.
Okay. Anyway, I think we're done talking about the Batman.
You forgot the Lego Batman movie.
I did not forget about it. I don't care.
Oh, that's a mistake. Will Arnett was the best.
I could not get into... I watched it, and I didn't care the entire time I was watching it. It was so stupid. Sorry. So anyway, the Batman, are we good? Are we
We're
good on the Batman?
We're good on the Batman.
Also, I talked about this beforehand. I just want to say it so it's on record as my favorite Batman being Abed Nadir.
Oh, yes. Abed Nadir from that one episode of the Halloween episode of Community.
Yes.
Thanks, Batman. So, this has been Not So Live from Asteroid G. I'm Mike Finkelstein. You are Kite Man.
No, it was Mr. Freeze.
Okay, you're Mr. Freeze and female.
Queen Bee.
And we will see you next time.
That was the commissioner.